When you get your mitt for the first time, what are the things that you do? How do you break it in? Hand placement inside of it. Just can you talk general about things that you do with your mitts?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, when I first get it, for me, I just kind of look at the shape. So not every glove I get is exactly the same. So I try to look at the shape, and I have a kind of I almost try to make a box, if that makes sense. So I'm pulling this one in just a little bit, keeping this one in a little bit. So that way when it closes, I have that nice little square box up at the top. So that makes it nice when it hits that pocket in there. It catches it in the same spot every time, right here in the middle once that closes. So I know when those transfers or anything is I'm catching it there and it's going to be in the same spot every time. So for me, kind of the initial forming of the glove is really important, because if it's just you got it like a pancake and you don't want to form it like this. So for me, I played a little infield growing up. So for me, I put 2 fingers on the outside. So I take these strings, loosen these up a little bit, and I got 2 fingers here in or on the far side. This one's here, this one's here. So everyone, where this finger normally is, this finger is in the middle finger slot, and so that way it makes a nice open, nice big pocket there, a nice good target for the pitcher. So everything's kind of more down, and my fingers are more on this side and not really in the middle. So that's kind of what I do for the actual glove itself. I'll just play catch. I like to sit off a machine, and that way the fastball machine, so I know right where it's coming, and I can just work on hitting it in that same spot every time, give it a little bit of this, catch it, each one, just making sure that that's going to form exactly how I want it, so it's going to be right where I want it every time I catch it. So I like to do a machine. If you don't have a machine, just kind of a repetitive BP or just in catch play, same thing, wherever it is, try to catch it in the same spot, spin it, get it how you want it. So for me, breaking it in, I just try to do that every time. The first year I'm trying out the black one. Yeah, the black and tan for sure. That's one of my favorite things about it is compared to some other gloves, catching gloves in general compared to other ones, they come in, sometimes they're hard as a rock, and you got to sit there for hours and hours, and you're going as hard as you can, and you're getting it like half an inch, and you can't even play catch because you're basically knocking it down, picking it up, and throwing it back. So I like the black and tan ones. They come a little bit softer, and for me, sitting in front of a machine just playing catch about a week, I feel like I can be comfortable in a game. This one's taking a little bit longer. This one's a little bit of like a firmer, harder leather. So I think in the long run, this one's going to be a little more durable. Probably last me a little bit longer during the season. Probably go through 2 a season rather than 3. If I'm playing every day. But yeah, no, this one so far has been really good. I'm liking this black one. So I got one of each here. So depending on how the season goes and what I'm feeling that day, maybe I'm in a slump, so I might try the tan one. You never know. So something like that. But both all in general, they break in pretty quick, and I can be out there and be comfortable. Yeah, I go with 35. So I was an infielder, and so when I first started catching, I got guys with sink, cuts, guys with a lot of movement. I wanted to feel like I had enough glove, and then that was just when I started. I know a lot of guys use the 33.5, but for me, I want that extra little bit of room here, and I've never had trouble with the transfers because, like I was talking about earlier, I work it so I'm catching in that same spot every time. So for me, I like the 35, a little bit extra room, especially with guys that are throwing hard, a lot of movement. As long as you're breaking in how you like it and you're comfortable with it, I've never had a problem with the 35. So, for me, definitely, I like that how it's set up. This one, it kind of has this hinge with it, so this one hugs my upper thigh a little bit better. It's not sitting like this when I go down. So I like how this one, I think it's the hinge. It's kind of over here. It's got a little hinge, so I like that this hugs my thigh a little bit. I get a little bit of extra coverage here, and this part I feel like comes up a little higher, a little flatter, so when I'm going down the block, I can slide, I feel like, a lot better than on the other ones, and they're staying put a lot better than the other ones. So these new ones I've really liked. I've never really had a problem with it, and I think this is really durable too. There's not a lot of stuff that like this down here. This stays pretty good, so when I'm sliding, I'm always up here, and so I use one. I can go one for the entire season, just they last a long time, and everything's made really well, like I said, the hinge, and so I'm pretty pumped about these ones. Cool. Sure, yeah, the sliders. So these sliding shorts, they got built-in cut compartment. For me, the big thing is, like, you can kind of see when you got it tight, it's got like a little bead or like kind of extra padding, and so for me, just sometimes you just take a beating with balls in the dirt, and if you're just you're getting bad hops and you're taking them off the thigh, I can't tell you how many times I've had just that monster bruise in here from foul tips or whatever, but that really gives you just that little bit of extra padding here, and they're actually really comfortable compared to some of the other like brands I've used. I really, these are an everyday thing for me, the sliding shorts, and so it's got it on the back too, so you actually have a little bit of sliding padding. You know, at least I feel like so. I'm a big fan of. Another thing I'm a big fan of is like the arm sleeve. For me, just the compression of it, like the fabric, it stays there. Like other ones I'm constantly pulling up here because I don't have big enough arms to keep it tight. But you know, this one will stay up right where I want it, and just it's cool, and I don't feel like it's overheating, and I'm like sticking to it. I can always, you know, move it around exactly how I want it, and so you know, really everything about the gear I love. So yeah, this little guy, a little index finger pad. For me, when I'm first getting back into it and coming out of spring training and catching the pens when I haven't seen the velo or the movement in a while, it's kind of got that extra padding right in here. And so for you catchers, you know, when you catch it wrong or you get it kind of deep in that pocket, it really stings you good. And so for me, this is early on, you know, in camp and or on days where, you know, or just certain pitchers even, just to have that late movement or that kind of unexpected cut where I think I might be getting that ball. That, you know, that's the last thing you want to do is go in to hit and your hand's on fire because you just got you know, got one in there pretty good. And so for me early on, I like to use this just for that little extra padding, and so kind of gives me peace of mind that, you know, if I do catch one wrong or early on gets a little late movement that I don't anticipate and it hits me there, it definitely helps with the sting, and you know, I'm not worried about going up the bat. I can't feel my hands. So for me early on, this has been great.